The song of one of New Zealand's endemic birds, the tui, echoing under an austral summer sun, charmed us into silent drifting one afternoon in the middle of our 5-day experience on the Whanganui River. We drifted, paddled, and shot many gentle rapids along half of its 200-mile length from near Mount Tongariro to near the sea, passing through its trough-like channel, surrounded by its extraordinary native forests of fern trees, air plants, mosses, giant rimu and totara trees, rarely seeing another living soul. The isolation filled us with a primitive sense of awe for this world. After the big city of Auckland, the friendly, humane, bustling city of sails, its population of 1.4 million, fully 30% of the country's total, drove us some hours south into the central region of the North Island, into a land of geysers, bubbling steam pools, and fuming volcanoes. There, our small party would begin backpacking the Great Walks of New Zealand. After Christmas Day, treading the black sand beaches around New Plymouth, we arrange a shuttle to Egmont Visitor Center, where we enter the goblin forest of the Pukai Circuit. The 8-hour tramp, as the New Zealanders would call it, walks the flanks and upland plateaus of Mount Taranaki. The environment of this 8,000-foot volcano is bound by the coastal arc pounded by the curling surf of the Tasman Sea. The mountain owes much to the 250 inches of rain per year that this maritime exposure brings on. The area is a blend of natural and native history, where rugged mountain slopes fall into the expansive upland zone of the Ahukawakawa Swamp, where skeleton trees of mountain cedar lead onto a plankway traversing red tussock grass, where yellow spears of wild orchids are concealed. Passing now along a section of one of the most popular tramps in New Zealand, we begin 4 days of backpacking near the highest point of the North Island, Mount Ruapehu, at 9,000 feet, on the great walk called Tongariro Northern Circuit. It is a land of great contrasts and preserves many myths of the native Maori culture, certainly in its place names, like Wakapapa, Mangatepopo, and Uaruho, as with many others. This land also plays part in modern myth of Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. The hiking loop of 27 miles offered our most unique experience on the North Island, with vivid emerald lakes, crusty black dikes from recent lava flows, and powdery red gashes spewing sulfurous fumes. Overnight, the weather of New Year's Eve brought a potent taste of this volcano's intemperate moods, as a driving rain buffeted the roof of the tiny Uturere hut. It was stuffed to capacity at the time, with trampers bleary in their attempts at revelry. It's essential to reserve space in the huts or tent platforms for the great walks of New Zealand. The South Island is the Wild West of New Zealand. Its spaces are large, sparsely inhabited, and lead to a great mountain chain, the Southern Alps. We arrive by plane from Auckland in the artsy town of Nelson, a port and mecca for foodies, and access to the wilderness zone of the Heaphy track. From town, we traveled 3 hours to near the northernmost tip of the South Island in a shuttle that we had prearranged online with a commercial service. The inland start and remote seaside finish of this great walk are 7 hours apart. The trail begins in a dense beechwood forest in the company of the seldom seen carnivorous land snails of the Kahurangi National Park. By the first mountain hut, the renovated Perry's Saddle, the forest gives way to upland savannas of Guland and Saxon Downs at around 2,500 feet elevation. 2 days of further ambling of the downs, and we reach the grand and twisted forest slopes of red-tasseled rata trees. Through a forest parting, we catch first sightings of the Tasman Sea and the rugged west coast of this remote region. From the land of the acquisitive weka bird, we descend to the coast, passing the patriarchs of the coastal kingdom, to pay homage to the spirit of the ancient rata trees. We next experience New Zealand's sandflies, the tiny insect renowned for its bite in relentless swarms on this coast. Kill one, 20 are invited to the funeral. We spend an extra night and day at Heaphy Hut on the sandy banks of the river, its mouth a mesmerizing churn of breakers and riptides. The final day, along the coast to Kohaihai, is a dream with the soundtrack of a powerful sea, while endemic Iniqua palms make a canopy of their rustling fronds. Though Heaphy Track is popular as a 4 or 5 day backpack, we spend many solitary hours of hiking, meeting others only at day's end at the hut for conversation and a communal good night's rest. A change in the group brings a shift in our pace. From Christchurch to Queenstown by rental car, we travel another piece of the Kiwi's middle kingdom. Its lakes reflect exceptionally starry skies and open to breathtaking landscapes. We join a large group for an all-inclusive, guided walk of Milford Track. Its reputation is legendary, and its worldwide popularity had complicated our undertaking it independently. In any case, the landlocked fjord of Teanau and the Clinton River Valley are heartland of towering walls traced by Wedding Vale Falls. The wide trail follows through a forest that speaks with nature's clearest wisdom, full of diversity, tranquility, and mystery to soothe and excite the soul. Each night of the 4 days of backpacking this World Heritage area, the accommodations are princely, food wholesome, and the company festive. McKinnon Pass at 3,700 feet is the high point of a lifetime for many of the members of the group. The glacier-fed Sutherland Falls is awesome in its 1,870-foot rushing cataract. Once the atmospheric Southern Alps shake off the clouds to glimmer with ice and rock, they tell timeless stories of this island sanctuary. Milford Sound is a world-famous destination and the ending point for our trail. Nature's work formed the near 4,000-foot cliffs of this 9-mile arm of the Tasman Sea. A half-day, as we did, or full-day boat tour brings Mitre Peak and Mount Pembroke to their sheerest marvel. This coastal walk is situated on the northern shores of the South Island of New Zealand, where golden beaches are fringed by Pacific blue waters that glimmer in the sun. Footwear is nearly optional, as the debate for us was never settled whether boots, sneakers, or sturdy sandals. We brought all three. Our walking starts at the gateway entry of Marahau on a fine modern all-tides bridge over the river estuary. Timing of tides plays a role for certain of the crossings of this coastal trail, or track as the Kiwis call it. It's end of summer, late February, and the place teems with day hikers, backpackers, and all sorts of boaters on every beach. So the party begins. The trail skirts ridges, climbing and descending between bays. Today it's Tin Line, Coquille, and Apple Tree Bays, with views of Adele Island, a predator-free island where native birdsong is heard again. The native rock, visible on the headlands, is granite. It forms the sand of the elegant white and gold beaches. Anchorage is our hut the first night. Renovated in 2014, it is a model of rustic comforts overlooking Torrent Bay. It's a playground for boats of all kinds. Charter boats drop in and re-embark large groups. Kayakers come in to camp after meandering quiet reaches of the coast. And of course, New Zealanders moor their motor and sailing yachts. We seek solitude on Pitt Head for a short afternoon stroll in views and contemplation. A short day from Anchorage to Bark Bay Hut allows a leisurely pace and time for a side trip to Cleopatra's Pool. We find the ocean water is warmer than the Torrent River, though. After hiking the west coast, the thought sends a shiver as we approach Sandfly Bay. But then, it's just a name. Bark Bay is a beautiful place. A little busy, but wandering the tidal flats for photos and air, and later a swim was solitary. As well, we met some interesting people at the showers and wash-up sinks, if you know what I mean. Choosing not to wait for the morning ebb tide adds a short distance to the start of this third day. The hike to Awaroa Bay is a classic day, with a taste of inland terrain and the long, strikingly beautiful arc of Onatahuti Beach. Another inventive bridge keeps our feet dry, but not for long. After climbing over the 1,000-foot Tonga Saddle, we arrive at a wet impasse. An hour from ebb waters, impatience goads, and we strap boots and cameras high on the packs and wade from ankle to waist deep for several hundred yards to access the hut. The experience reinforces the strict advice for the deeper and wider Awaroa River estuary. Accordingly, we wake by 7 on day 4 as per the tide tables and manage without incident to cross barefoot the half-mile. The beaches beyond become gratifyingly solitary. Goat Bay is a secluded treasure. Totaranui is the golden beach, with no-frills camping and a tree-lined boulevard. Anapai Bay has Navigator Rock, the most photographed element of the park. Mutton Cove is a topaz setting. Our final hut, Wari Warangi, is cozy and authentic. No sandflies means we cook and eat outdoors after a swim, a fitting finish. Day 5, our visit to Separation Point is made on return to the pickup for a water taxi at Tongariro. We learn about gannets and sea seals and cormorants. We enjoy the return to civilization and someone else's cooking.